Hello everybody and welcome to a special episode of the UFO Cast from me, Luke, having been to the Stand By for Action 2 concert, subtitled Tunes of Danger. And once again this was at the Birmingham Symphony Hall as it was in April 2022, and once again I was there wearing my Keith Ford Rocks t-shirt. Overall, it was a great night, and I'm really glad I went. And once again, I was doomed to having train-related issues. Last time it was getting there. This time it was getting back, when my late train was cancelled and replaced by the dreaded rail replacement bus service, which meant I got home at about 1. So quite the late night, but definitely worth that sacrifice. And as John Culshaw outlined at the beginning of the show, the format of this concert was slightly different from last time, though most of the theme tunes got in there, I think, in the end. But there was definitely some music that didn't make it this time that was there last time, and vice versa. But a lot of the same content, just rearranged slightly into themed suites of like space music or guest vehicle music, for example, and ably linked by John Culshaw doing his usual repartee of impressions. It was particularly nice to hear the Zero X theme. I've just listened to my review of last time, and I concluded that perhaps there were some licensing issues with using music from the movies. I don't know whether that's true as to why it wasn't there last time, but it was there this time. It was flagged as being highly requested, so maybe that was the fans want to hear it, we're going to make sure that happens. It was also nice to hear the Sidewinder / Crab Logger music in there as well. And the Man from MI5 music, which I think was a disappointment to me that wasn't in last time in the Thunderbirds suite, that made it in this time. There were pieces from Space 1999 and Terrorhawks that I didn't know, so that didn't mean a lot to me. And also the theme from The Investigator and The Day After Tomorrow, the one-off pilots that never made it to series. Perfectly fine. I wasn't that bothered about their inclusion or not. I think the theme that made it in this time that didn't make it in last time was The Protectors. Very much the focus on Barry Gray music last time, though I guess they had all of the Crispin Merrill, Derek Wadsworth stuff. Protectors, again, a show that I've not really got into. It's a great theme. The highlight, I guess, of the night was the performance of Deadly Concerto, which is the first part of this multimedia Stingray celebration that is happening over the coming months with novels and comics and things. This was a live performance featuring Nick Briggs as Titan and Commander Shaw, as Ray Barrett did in the original. Wayne Forrester, new Captain Scarlet's Wayne Forrester as X-20 and Phones as Robert Easton did in the original, plus the new character of, what was he, Lord, maybe? Harmonious, I think. John Culshaw in a silent performance as Teufel, which is very good. Mark Silk, better known to people with young children as the voice of Grandmaster Glitch in Go Jetters, which owes a great debt to the works of Jerry Anderson, I feel. He was playing Troy Tempest. And then I've already forgotten the lady who was playing Atlanta. She did introduce herself, but I've forgotten her name. She was very, very good. Anyway, and then one of the singers moved over to join the cast unannounced, and it was unclear as to who she was going to be playing until she started miming Marina's puppet movements. As a serious piece of audio drama in the mould of a lot of Big Finish stuff, I think we can take it with a pinch of salt. The plot was somewhat contrived. I'm not going to say what it was, because the implication was that although we were the first to hear it as the attendees at the concert, it will be available in some form. Whether the recording from the concert is the only form it will appear in, or whether they're going to re-record it properly in a studio, I don't know. As I said, there were visual aspects to it. John Culshaw as Teufel and Wendy, the singer Wendy, playing Marina. There were visual aspects to it that clearly don't work on audio, and obviously it has a live laughter track from the audience. So I suspect it would need adapting slightly for an audio only performance. Very, very much tongue-in-cheek, I feel, and played for the laughs, particularly Wayne Forrester's voice of Harmonium harmonious, which was aided by him wiggling his finger up and down over his lips, which sent the lady in front of me into hysterics. And there was also another guy who was providing the movements of Stingray by holding up a model of Stingray that was probably about 3 feet across and moving it around, who then very briefly provided the voice of the Aquamphibians, which was, again, a very hilarious moment. And all this backed by the orchestra playing various bits of Stingray incidental music. And I guess that brings me to the less than good points about the concert. Like I said, a lot of the content was the same as last time, including March of the Oysters. Now, I have no issue with that piece of music. It is a nice piece of music. I was happy to hear it again. But I felt that if you were going to get rid of anything, that would be the piece. Particularly as they called the concert Tunes of Danger and then didn't play any music from the story Tune of Danger. You know, if you're going to call your concert that, you really ought to play that piece of music. That was one of the most anticipated points in the evening for me. And then as it came to the final medley of themes, John Coltrane kind of going, this is the end of the concert. I was like, they haven't played Tune of Danger at a concert called Tunes of Danger. So that is a slight quibble. I listened to the comments that I made last time, as I said, and I felt then that the sound balance for some of the songs was a bit off. And again, that was an issue that happened last night. Particularly, some of the vocals did not cut through the orchestra on the Captain Scarlet theme, for example. There was a nice addition to the UFO theme, which was arranged to have some vocals playing some of the parts, and that was actually really, really nice. But yeah, as I say, my quibble is that there were just some bits where you couldn't hear the singers loud enough over the orchestra. And then there were technical issues. I suspect somebody is getting a bit of a bollocking this morning. I'm not entirely sure what the issue was. The conductor did try to explain that there was another... It was like there was another recording of the orchestra that they'd already recorded that was playing alongside, and then that got out of sync. I'm not quite sure what happened, but basically they had to stop several pieces and just say, we're really sorry, we're going to have to sort out some technical stuff and start again. And that happened like 3 times throughout the concert, and it was a real bummer. I mean, everybody on stage acted professionally. John Coltrane came for the longest bit. John Coltrane actually came out and did requests. So he had a whole Joe Biden, Donald Trump skit and threw in various voices. Somebody asked him to do Tony Robinson, and he clearly can't do Tony Robinson, so he did an impersonation of Michael Caine playing Tony Robinson in a film, which was all very, very funny. But it was just a real shame. I think the concert ran slightly late because of these interruptions that they had to kind of keep restarting. And I don't know whose fault it was, but it was just a little disappointing that the evening was marred by a less than professional standard of production. Whether we'll hear more about it at a public apology, I don't know. Yeah, it was just disappointing. But that aside, it was a really, really good evening. I'm really glad I went. I would love them to do a third one. I would love to be able to go and come back without any transport issues next time I go to the Symphony Hall, if and when that happens. And no doubt there will be the CD and Blu-ray as there was last time. I have listened to the audio from the last concert many times on Spotify, and I actually listened to some of it to get me in the mood to and from the concert this time. I haven't ever got round to getting the Blu-ray of the concert from last time, mainly because it was quite expensive. It's come down in price. I might actually get round to getting the Blu-ray of the original concert just to remember the experience, because the audio, the CD release only has the music. There's none of the kind of linking stuff from John Coltrane, which it was part of the experience. And again, everybody was dressed in costume. Some particularly cumbersome, like there was a guy dressed as an alien who had a helmet on his head, and I'm like, just imagine playing your instrument whilst kind of encumbered by this alien helmet. So the dedication from the majority of the orchestra, that was to be commended. Just a few notes. This is coming out between July's episode of For Your Consideration and August's. We recorded a couple of nights ago our August episode on Blake 7, so you will hear that on the first Monday of August. And then at the end of August, Michael and I will be at Hooverville, the Doctor Who convention in Derby. So do come along and say hello to us if you are going to that. We are umming and erring about doing something live at that. So if you're not there, we would like you to share our experience, but we haven't really decided on what format that will take. But we think we will try and do something live at Hooverville. And then literally the Monday following Hooverville is our next regular episode, which we will be recording at some point in August. Michael knows what that is because we recorded the latest one. You will find out at the end of our Blake 7 episode what we're doing in September. Michael's not here, so I guess I will say, be seeing you.